Okay, I made a Kahoot for chapter 3, for unit 3, which is about functions. And I'm going to play it here, and we'll go through all the problems, and I'll talk while I'm doing them, and hopefully I get them all right. All right. Oh, somebody already entered that nickname, because I already kind of started to play this, but I screwed it up. There you go. Okay. Okay, go. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Given the functions below, find f of -4. All right. Okay. F of -4 is 2 divided by -4 squared minus 9. 16 minus 9 is 7. 2 7. Boom. Out here. Okay, next. Next. Given the function below, find f of g of x. Okay. Okay, so it's going to be 2 divided by, and then this whole thing here, squared minus 9. So that's going to be 2 divided by 2x minus 4 minus 9, which is 2 divided by 2x minus 13. Boom. Out here. Next. Given the function below, what is the domain of h of g of x? Okay, so I need to look at the domain of g of x, which this is g of x. Domain of this is going to be, has to be greater than or equal to 0, so 2x has to be greater than or equal to 4, so x has to be greater than or equal to 2, and then I have to find h of g of x. And so if you plug this into this, I can't see it, but if you plug that into that quadratic, there's going to be no other domain restriction there. So this is the only domain restriction, so that means I should have this, which is this one out here. Next. Next. Oh. Next. Given the functions below, what is the domain of f of g of x? Okay, g of x, again, we know from the previous problem that it has to be greater than 2. F of x, all right, f of g of x, what's f of g of x? So that was 2, remember from the previous problem, it was 2x minus 13, I believe. So that means, oh, I did this problem wrong. So x has to be, okay, this problem is written wrong, so I'll just tell you what the domain should be. I wish I could make the volume lower. So x should be, this is, 2x minus 13 cannot equal 0, right? So x has to be, cannot be 13 halves. So x is in 13 halves, and it has to be greater than 2. So we would go 2, 13 halves, can't include it, union, 13 halves, union, infinity. I have no idea what I was doing when I was writing the answer to these problems, but it'll be fixed by the time you play it. And I don't know what answer I selected, so maybe it was this one. Okay, weird. That's wrong, by the way. Next. Next. Okay, select the equation that describes R varies directly with H and L squared. Boom. Easy. V varies jointly with R. So V varies jointly with R and the square of P and inversely with T. Boom. What do you get if you add the x and y coordinates to the maximum of the function below? Okay, 2 ways to do this. We could have f of x, this is not good, f of x equals we can do completing the square. So factor out x squared there, 6 and 16. So we'd have plus 16, no, minus 16x, and then plus 14, and then this would be 8 squared, so plus 64, and 64 minus 64 times negative 6. Yikes. Alright, I know this is going to be positive, it's not going to be negative. 64 times negative 6 is 384, so I have to add 384 here. So the y coordinate is 384 plus 14, which 398, and then the x coordinate is 8, so 398 plus is 406. Let me explain that more. I'm going to add more time when we do that problem. So let me just redo it here for you to show you how I got that. Okay, let me rewrite. So f of x is equal to negative 6x squared and plus 96x plus 14. All right, now I can, there's two ways to do this. Negative b over 2a is going to give me the x coordinate of the maximum. Negative b over 2a means negative 96 divided by 2 times negative 6. So that's 12. Negative 96 divided by negative 12 is 8. So 8 is the x coordinate of the maximum. That's one way to find that. If you want to then plug in 8 into that function, you'll find the y coordinate of the maximum. So negative 6 times 8 squared plus 96 times 8 plus 14. This is equal to 398. Okay, so that's the y coordinate, that's the x coordinate. You add them up, you get 406. The other way to do this is to complete the square up here. So if we take the negative 6 out of the x terms, we're left with x squared and then a minus 12x here. No, minus 16x, sorry. Minus 16x. And then leave a little space, and there's this plus 14 out here. Now, in order to make a perfect square trinomial on the inside, I have to look at the 16 divided by 2 and square. So negative 16 divided by 2 is negative 8 squared is 64, so I'm going to add 64. Everything inside this parentheses is being multiplied by negative 6. So that means I need to add 64 times 6 to balance this equation. 64 times 6 is something. It's 384. So I need to add 384 here. Then that's going to give me, it's going to result in this. This was x minus 8 quantity squared, and then plus 14 plus 384 is 398, right? So this 398. So here we have, if we compare this to a equals x minus h quantity squared plus k. hk is the coordinates of the vertex of a parabola, which is the maximum. And so if we add in the h and k, it was 8 plus 398, which again is 406. Okay, that's how you do that problem. Next. Read and answer the question below, okay? Hamilton charges her color guard wannabes. All right, so this is a revenue problem. So she has, it's $50 per session, and she's gonna drop the price by $2 some number of times. That's the money part of it. That's the money part. The number of people part is gonna be, she's got 15 of them, and if she drops her price, she gets another one. So plus x. All right, so this is gonna be negative 2x squared. There's going to be minus 30x plus 50x, and then 15 times 50, that's 1250 or something, right? Is that right? That is, doesn't matter. No, 1750. Okay, doesn't matter though, because this is negative 2x squared plus 20x, and then plus 1750, and so negative b over 2a. It's gonna, it should be 17, it should be, wait, not 1750, 15 times that, that's 100, that's 750, not 1750, the answer is 750. What? Hold up. Why did I get that wrong? 15. Oh yeah, I forgot to, that was dumb. Let me show you why I got that wrong. So negative b over 2a is going to be negative 20 divided by 2 times negative 2, which is 5. So that means 5 is the number of price decreases she should make. So at that time, she will have 20 students, because if we plug the 5 back up in here, we end up with 20 students. And if we plug the 5 back up in here, we end up with $40 per student. So if we multiply 20 and 40, we get 800. So the answer should have been 800. Dang, answer streak is lost. Rip. Miss Hamilton, she charges $50 session. What should she adjust her rate to? Well, we just said it was 40. It's 40. What is the difference quotient? Oh, the difference quotient. Okay. It's going to be... Alright, so first I got f of x. What is f of x minus h? F of x minus h is going to be 4 times x minus h, quantity squared, minus 2 times x minus h, x plus h, x plus h, x plus h, x plus h, plus 3. Okay, so that's going to be 4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared minus 2x minus 2h plus 3. And we're going to subtract f of x, so minus 4x squared plus 2x minus 3. So what's going to cancel? That's going to cancel, 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 that's going to cancel. So all that's left over is 8xh plus 4h squared minus 2h. And then we're going to divide this all by h. So that's h times 8x plus 4h minus 2 divided by h. That cancels. So the answer should be 8x plus 4h minus 2. Yes. The relation below is a function. 0. That 0 gives me 2 different outputs. It's not. It is not a function. This is false. Yeah. The relation below is not a function, okay? So negative 2 is fine. Oh, negative 1 gives me 2 different outputs. So this is not a function. That's true. What? I need to redo that question. That's definitely true that it is not a function. I got confused myself with the double negative situation there. Read and answer the question below. R varies directly with x and y, so R varies directly with x and y, but inversely with z cubed. Okay. R is 5. Okay, so I'm going to need to solve this for k. K is going to be rz cubed divided by xy. So R is 5. Z is 1. Okay, 5 times 1. X times y, because 1 cubed is 1. And then xy, that's 2 times 3. So 5, 6 is k. Alright, so what is r when x is 1? Well, r is 5, 6 times 1 times 6. So that's just going to be 5 on top, divided by 8. 5 eighths. Boom. Okay. Given the function below, what is f of h of negative 1? Okay, so I'm going to plug in 1 to h. I get 4 plus 2 minus 6, which is 0. And I plug that into f, and I get negative 1. Right, because f of... What are you... It's totally negative 1. I put the wrong answer in there. I don't really know how to use Kahoot that well when I'm making the question. That's okay. But this was, I think, 5 divided by 0 squared minus 5, which is obviously... That is obviously negative 1. Okay, next. Given the function below, what is f of g of 40? Okay, g of 40, so that's going to be 5 times 40 minus 4. That's 196. Square root of 196 is 13. No, it's just 16. No, it's 13. Is it? No, it's 16. And then f of that. Dude, I don't know what this is. Let's do that. Need more time for that question. Okay, next. Last question. What is g of h of negative 2? Okay, h of negative 2. So it's negative 2 squared is 4. So it's 16 minus 4 minus 6. 6. And I want g of 6. So 5 times 6 minus 4 is 26. It's the square root of 26. Alright. Cool. Anyway, so clearly I have to work on this Kahoot, but that's how you go about solving those problems anyway. Alright, hope you learned something from this very frantic video.